need to stream marker. So unfortunately, YouTube, it looks like, is going to miss all that the cat goodness, just for you, Twitch. But we're gonna get back into it here. So what do we have? We have our test. So our offline test, which is basically just the main function, and that replaces the main function here. So when we run test, it runs this. It launches the game. Oh, we're not launching the actual listening to Twitch chat when we do a test. We're only doing the mock, which I think is fine. That should also mean that we don't really need the .env files at all. So we can run this without setting up .env. Chat test mock run, so that's in here. It randomly chooses one of these and then moves forward. So then something I think that we can fix here is, actually it's not really fix, change. We're actually creating an IRC message, and then that's what we're mocking up. I think that we can do everything without having to rely upon the Twitch chat crate or the Twitch chat wrapper crate, if we just create commands and send that on through. So if we take a look at main RS, the game, so chit chat wrapper, okay, there's send to game. Question is, can we do that, or does the Twitch do we expect, let's see, there's chat message, and then just strings for send to Twitch, receive from game. Oh, okay, so we may not have a choice. If we take a look at where this is handed in, yeah, because, okay, we need the Twitch chat wrapper chat message. Although we might be able to, okay, so just take this chat message in from Twitch chat wrapper, which we could expose. Well, we already have access to it, so we wouldn't have to take in Twitch chat then. So chat message is actually coming from receive from Twitch and send to game. Okay, so send to game wants a chat message. Back to you. Okay, so here's where we're creating Twitch chat parse one. Okay, so we're creating the IRC message. Creating the private message from the Twitch chat. crate. And then we're sending this through the channel, through the send channel. And then here's where we're creating a chat message new. So I'm not sure we need. So all this should be fine. This is this input string. I think we should just be able to send a message through. Chat message through, straight. Which means do with offline test. We have send to game, which is a sender chat message. Okay, yeah. We can just use this send to game here. So we get that here. So send incoming chat message. Now what is chat message? Oh, because chat message does take a private message. I forgot about that. Okay, so knowing, like, if I was to do this all again, I would probably make it so that we can have like a default or a new, and then like use builder method with chat message, and then that way it can build it with nothing in it, or like have all these. But that would probably make it so that was like options in there. So in that case, I'm not completely sure that there is a good way for us to get access to this. I suppose to make sure that we don't get the wrong version of the Twitch chat from here, it would be good to re-export Twitch chat from the Twitch chat wrapper, so we can just access it from there, so we get the right version. And I think that's really the only thing we can do to improve this before we call it done. So this is actually going to be coming back in here, going to the Twitch chat wrapper. And I think is it in our main library? I think we can use this, right? We could just okay, so here's like use Twitch chat. Can I just pub use Twitch chat to re-export that? I think that I can. So to test this, if I do cargo doc, yeah, okay, so, nope. Come on. Mouse skills. All right, so taking a look at this, we have a re-exports pub use Twitch chat. So that means we have both chat message and Twitch chat re-exported out. So that's going to be available to us outside of this module. So that's exactly perfect. That's what we want to see. So I'm going to go ahead and package this up. This super minor change. Ooh, if I want to do that, I also need to hit the cargo.toml. and we need to update this version. There it is. 0.1.2. This is a very minor change. Is that true? I feel like actually that's not completely true. I think this might be a 0.2.1 because I'm adding a feature, but I'm not. So it's not a patch because I'm not like fixing a bug. It's a minor version update because I'm adding a feature, like I'm adding an interface that can be used, but I'm not breaking anything previously, so it's not major. Okay, so I think this is actually correct. So we're gonna come back to you, stage you, and this is gonna be re-exporting Twitch chat wrapper to be used. Other programs. We have to send that on up to GitHub, and then we can come back to you and do a cargo deploy. Oh, you're right. It should be a 2. You're very right. Already pushed that up. So amending it kind of sucks. I'll just say correcting the version. Thanks. Checking. All right, push that up. Okay, so we can do a cargo deploy. That's all pushed up. Okay, what is it then? Cargo publish. So when we publish this to crates.io, it has to build it, compile it. I think it make sure like run all the tests, which I don't think we have any, and it uploads that. That's all happy. If we go to what was the other one? It was like lib.rs. lib.rs/crates. Oh, okay. Lib.rs just on its own. And if we search for Twitch chat wrapper, here this is. Okay, so it hasn't seen the new version here. If we go to crates.io, here we can see that it's actually been updated right here. So crates.io actually has this a little bit faster updates, I guess. All right, so now that we've got that, we can come back to the get the streamer game, head over into our cargo.toml, and for Twitch chat wrapper, we want this to be 0.2.0. Save you, and then back into our test mock. Okay, so everywhere where we have this Twitch chat wrapper here, sorry, that's not true. Everywhere that we have, so we don't care about this in here. In here, everywhere we have Twitch chat, we want it actually to go behind a Twitch chat wrapper. So the way that it looks is going to be use Twitch chat wrapper, Twitch chat messages, priv message. That's what it would look like. So instead of that, and then here, I'll just copy you, paste you in. And so that way, in the case that we update it, update the Twitch chat wrapper, but it would break something with this, we're still fine. Or I guess like in case Twitch chat updates, we're fine with that. We're stuck with the version that's compatible with Twitch chat wrapper, which I think that's maybe a little bit better. And I think that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and run our test. So this version of the game, you can't actually, like, it won't matter what chat commands you send. It's not going to it's not gonna listen. Well, what's going to happen is that it's going to send a whole bunch of these randomly out, and that gives me the chance to test all these features, and also try to avoid as many of these as possible. In the case that we had a whole bunch. Oh, I was gonna wait for that heart to give me, but nope. Ooh, did we not get any snakes? We have a snake like that. Oh, that's a good point. We didn't see any snakes. We didn't get any errors. Interesting. Okay, so what if I try snake? Oh, there's a snake. And there's another snake. Okay, so we got some snakes now. Not very many snakes. Like, it looks like random number generator is really picking up on the swords a lot more often. And so I could increase the number of this, but I think it's fine. I saw all the different types go in there, so I think we're good to go. Let's go ahead and fix these warnings. So we're not using a strum anymore. We're not using you. That means commands down here, we're not really doing this at all. Oh, and in the offline test, we're not doing receive from games. That can be underscored. All right, that makes that happy. For our cargo toml, we can remove strum and strum macros because we're not using them. All right. Okay, so that makes that happy. Let's do a real run through. So cargo run. So this will be the real one where you can attack me. I get a look at the chat sort of get a preview of what's about to hit me all at once when that first one lights off. I saw you try to do a sword right by a heart. But I got ya. Or at least I got the heart. Zilby is climbed up onto the desk and is watching the monitor. You give up when you're defeated? Alright. Should maybe do something like this. He's attacking us. Yeah. I mean, he's cat isn't one of the commands, but we got the command. We got the cat. Wait, did that not show your attack stacking? Oh no, because I won. That's why. Because I won. All right, so I think we're good there. Let's go ahead. Come back to you. And this is okay. So for you, we have these 4 changes. Stage you. Okay, so for our summary, basically we this is finished, completes, closes, fixes. Fixes. I mean, that's an interesting message, Zilby, but not exactly English. I guess this is more of like completes the AI testing. It's not really AI. But okay, so if I can't push you. Right, because I've got the wrong remote on you. So can I change that? Set upstream to be origin. What branch should... Okay, so this one is going to be 36. AI. Now if I push, that should go up to my repo. Okay, and then I can do a pull request into master. Okay, so this is going to be fixes, complete solves. I don't know. I wish they had like the list of words in the little help document. Okay, so thanks Bootsby for getting this started. Move the code into a testing folder, and everything is working as expected. All right, so get that pull request. All right, so take a look at what we changed here. I guess first of all, let's go ahead and link the issue. Create AI chatters to play against. This. So that, can I set like multiple? I wish I could set multiple. I can. I can set multiple people, but it won't. It doesn't see its speak. So let's link that one. Okay. Kitty Cat is crawling through the crawling underneath the monitor. One of his favorite things to do now. All right, so let's see. Cargo lock, we don't care about that. That's good. Cargo.toml, so we added Twitch chat wrapper. Oh, that's a okay. So we want to remove Twitch chat. We don't need you anymore because we want to just pull straight from Twitch chat wrapper on this. So with that, okay. So another problem here. Let's fix this. Twitch chat wrapper, Twitch chat, that. Okay, you should be happy again. Let's go ahead and test this. Okay, everything is still working as expected. And if I can last 2 minutes against this. Although I probably will be able to if I keep on getting these hearts. Oh man, easy come, easy go apparently. All right, that is working. So back to this. Do our changes. So we made those two changes. Okay, so what is this? This is removing requirement for Twitch chat to chat crate. Instead, we are using the re-exported Twitch chat crate from Twitch chat wrapper. Okay, so if I push that, it should update this pull request automatically. But I might need to hit refresh for that to happen. Oh yeah, it does. It shows this like, I need to hit refresh here. Okay, so here we have just that showing. So this is good. Chat test mock. This is a completely new file. Everything is in here new. That should be fine. Source lib. I think we're fine here. For main, we're just adding some spaces, so I have no problem with. Okay, chat test mock. And then this is calling, this is actually doing the thing. This is fine too. And the offline test, this is our full offline test. It mimics what's in main. So this is good as well. All right, so let's go ahead. I can't properly code review them, so I'm gonna go ahead and just merge it into master. Which should also remove this issue, right? Yeah, okay, so that's done. That means we can come back to here and clean up some of these branches. I like to clean up the branches right away as soon as they get merged into master, because all the commits are in there now. No reason to keep them in. I've actually made mistakes in the past where if I had all of those branches, I could use them, and then you get this weird state where you have new code on an old branch. Which is not the best of times. All right, so we just have that master branch, which means the open issues are done. We should be able to refresh that. And we've got that going. Okay, so what is next? We have save score to disk, create instructions for setting up the game locally. Let's go ahead and save score to disk. That sounds a little bit more fun. So I'm going to go ahead and create a branch off of master for this. Okay, so what do we want to have happen here? Currently we have no scoring system. The entire game resets as soon as the player wins or loses. It would be really nice to keep track of chatters who have participated and then give them points based upon what they have done in the game. 1 point for dropping something, 10 points for hitting the player. For right now, since we don't have a database, we want to score the files in a file in a system that has the scores. Okay, so if I want to like track by probably by your username, I don't think we get your ID. Is that true? In Twitch chat, so like in the Twitch chat wrapper, do we get access to the ID? Oh, and in Twitch chat wrapper, I actually have that documentation still open up here. So we can go to Twitch chat. And I think it would be priv message. Message sent by a user. Okay, this is a trait. No, it's just, okay, so it's struct. Let's see what we have in here. We have raw tags, name, channel, data, and CTCP. Chantilly, happy Friday! It's been a while since you've made the stream. How are things going? Okay, so we have raw, we have tags, name, channel, probably data, maybe owned index. What type is that? Oh, it's owned, so that's a different crate? Maybe? Maybe owned index. What are you? Oh, okay. So it's an index into the string. So it's from the raw message. Okay. So if off of the messages. Okay, yeah, I have to go and take a look. I don't know if I have the ID for the user coming in. We could make a little change to that and add a little bit of a print or a debug just to sort of see what we're getting. Chantilly, you subscribed with Prime for 11 months total, and you're on a 9-month streak. Awesome. Thank you so much, Chantilly. Also, kitty cat. Okay, so given that, my command that I have here. I do have an ID that's a U8. I don't think that's the same type of ID though. I think the thing that we care about is the chatter. So we have name and a subscriber. So we're probably going to want to maybe take the chatter, get a score, and store that to disk somewhere. And what I can do is at the end of the game, when the credits start, maybe when the game loads, we want to like store. No, probably when the credits start. So we want to store the score for like what everybody has. And then when the credits start, so what is that? That's in our main library here. Okay, so starting soon, we have playing. Okay, then when either the chat one or the player one, we create the credits. So at this point in time, we could also load load saved, or probably yeah, we probably want to load save score. So if we're doing this to a file system because we don't have a database set up for ourselves yet. That being said, I wonder if it would be better just to like sort of figure out some cloud system, like a cloud database system that's not very expensive. Do any of you know of any good cloud databases to use that are free? Whoa, oops. Did not mean to do that. guess first of all, where does it save it? If I try to save like a score, I'm curious about that too. So I think there's, if I use standard FS, we would have to open a file. We would want to do this in utilities, and we have that entire thing there. So okay, so let's go to utilities. We have an open a file, and this opens it for this opens it specifically for the resources file. Yeah, so like get resources, load messages. I wonder if I want to open a file for, okay, so if I create a function, so pub function, we want to get save file. Maybe this would be like open save file. I don't know if I want like the file name specifically. Maybe we just pass it in, yeah. I also don't remember what this takes. This might just be a stir. And I don't remember. This might be an option because we can convert it to an option from an IO error. Amazon RDS, they're definitely not free. I think I tried using them before and it was like almost going to be like 20 bucks per month, or at least like 10 to 15 bucks per month. That might have been just me not setting it up correctly though. I don't know what this is gonna return. Let's go ahead and send it that, and it will tell me what it should be returning. So if I want to, okay, so we have this file open. So this is probably what I want to do, is file fs file. So I want to do file. I want to open for write. Okay, no, that's wrong. Attempts to open a file in read-only mode. Oh, see the open options, open for more details. Okay, so I want... Oh, okay, so open, we handed the path. The path is... Okay, apparently this string. So we'll do file name. And then can I do... So just dot okay to... No. What? Do dot okay. That converts it into an option. Okay, so then dot... Let's see and open. Okay, let's go actually find the documentation for this and take a look at it. So this is going to be okay, back to you. Open options. Oh, we start with open options. Okay, so standard FS open options, new. Okay, this is what we want then. So I'm gonna put that over to the side so I can read it. So this is what we want. We want to pull in, use standard FS open options. Let's also go ahead and refactor this to bring in file from this as well. Okay, so that should make you happy. Then here, we're going to return open options new. And now, okay, so I want write. Write is a boolean, so this is gonna be true. Dot open, and then the path. So that's gonna be the file name. Now this is gonna return an IO result, so with the file in it. So I want to then dot OK like that. That's going to return this as an option that has whatever is in it, so that you become a file. No. Okay, so that means that this open save file is now available for us to use. So I can come back to the main library, and we can potentially load up all the credits. We could even in here have maybe hub function. Oh, okay. So like this could be load scores. Okay, so this could be the file name. That's what we want. Load scores takes a file name. We're gonna return an option. Yeah, how are we gonna to do this? Do we want lines like this? Like we're doing up here? Or do I want I probably want if I do username, okay, I probably want like a hash map. So if I do something like, let's use standard collections hash map, I can have this be a hash map. And inside of here, the key we can have be a string, which could be the username. And then the score could be a U64. What's the highest type of number we can do? I think 128. Seems excessive. I mean, hopefully you're all gonna get really high scores. Okay, so if I have like load scores here, we need to open you up. There's gonna be two things that happen here. We want to open save file for writing. So open read only save file. So in this case, you're going to be a read true. And I don't think so. Can I do and write false? Now, there was a crate that was mentioned in here that might be really good to use. save file. So this might be good to use it as well. On the same side, I believe that get GGEZ, I believe, also has to cargo doc open this. I think GGEZ has a open file for saving too. I've never looked at it though. So let's take a look at what it does, because it might open up in like a weird spot again, but maybe it will handle it for like the different operating systems. I don't know. So we want GGEZ. Okay, is there like a save? Okay, just take me to GGEZ. Okay, so the conf module contains functions for loading and saving game configurations. Okay, cross-platform interface to the file system. So probably this. Oh, interesting. So I can theoretically have the resources in a zip file and it would handle it behind the scenes. So like unzipping it and using that. That might be nice. Okay, so creates a new file in the user directory. Okay, so this might be helpful for us. So if I create a new file, so truncating if it already exists. So I probably want to do something like check whether or not a path points at a file. Okay, so check to see if a file exists. If it doesn't, create the file. So I'm kind of Peyton rules raiding with a party of 8. Peyton, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome everybody. And also, how was your stream? We are in a working state. We haven't actually done anything that breaks stuff. So let's go ahead and play our game. While we're sort of getting this started, Peyton, how was your stream? How did things go? You were working on the GitLab API still, right? For this game, if you want to play it, in chat, you do messages like hash fire, hash sword, hash snake, or hash heart. That will drop it down. I am going to try to avoid them for as long as this timer is up. And then I have this many hearts. It's made fun because I'm also keeping my eye on chat to try to check out, see what's going on. Oh, and we learned that our kitty cat loves this game. Oh, okay. Oh, I still got hit by it. Thought I had just avoided it. One heart left. Oh, Chantilly cake. That was a good try. That was a good try with the double snakes. But I won. However, that being said, B Porter and Chantilly, you got 2 hits off me, so you got it really close. Oh yeah, the microphone was in the way. I was trying to show Kitty Cat loves watching that game on the screen. But anyway, so that's the game that we've been making here, and we're getting really close. You had Vim bindings thwarted you. I must have typed colon instead of hash around 20 times. Oh yeah, I don't use Vim too often anymore. I guess like I am so used to like colon a lot. Are you using a different like something else besides Vim these days? Or what do you normally use? I can't remember. All right, so let's say I want to do this as load scores. We want to open up a hash map of the string. Oh, Emacs with evil mode, so Vim bindings. Oh, and Chantilly, you kept on typing at. Chantilly, didn't you like send me a message saying that you were planning on making like a series of shortcut keys so you can play the game by just like pressing buttons instead of like having to type it out? Okay, so if I want to call load scores from here, so in our main library, at this point in time, so when the game's been won, I want to be able to call in 2 utilities load score. So it'll be something like this. Let scores equals load scores. You don't know how to bring that in. Oh, it'd be let's go ahead and bring in utilities. Load scores, and then a file name. So wherever this one is. So that's at the top here. Add a new const. So const scores file name. This is gonna have to be a static string. How are you liking Emacs with evil mode? Peyton rules. I've never used Emacs. I've only used Vim in the past, but I've also haven't used like too many plugins with Vim before. It's usually just been like when I was a systems administrator, I used it a lot because it was SSHing into systems, but it was just plain Vim at that point in time. I didn't really customize it very much. Okay, so our scores file name. Let's just name this scores. Now if I come down to here, so this is going to be scores file name. We can, so this is an option. So we can grab this as like an if let. Okay, so if let sum scores equals load the scores, and then we'll pass these scores through. Now else, I'm surprised it lets me do this. Because like scores might not be anything at all. So I think actually I don't necessarily need to do scores like this. I probably want to just run a debug with like the scores in it for right now. So that being said, so this loads up the scores. We'll back to utilities here. Maybe what I want to do is say that if I can't find the scores, if scores can't be loaded, we assume that the file doesn't exist and we're creating like a new scores. And so if that is the case, then maybe this won't be an option. Maybe we'll just say, look, we're going to get the hash map of this. And we'll throw a to-do in here so that it doesn't return an error. So, okay, back to you then in this case. We don't need this if let. This can just be let scores. Like that. And so now we're going to have our hash map of scores. You're going to have to be mutable because we're going to be like adding a score into there and dropping it down. So let's see. Let's debug our scores now. So in you, okay, so we actually want to load our scores up. Let's go ahead and create a function here. This will be a private function to load scores from file. And we want this to be like read only, don't we? Read only. Yeah, so we want to load the scores. So maybe load scores from file makes sense. Load scores file, get scores file. Get read only scores. We're going to take in the file name, which is that string slice. And in this case, this probably should be an option. Because now we're gonna have like our. Let's go ahead and just do that right now. So we're gonna call you, pass in the load scores, and we're gonna want to get back the scores file. So how is this gonna work? We're gonna say. This is where we're going to go to our documentation here. We want to say if it, okay, so check to see whether a file or directory exists. So we give it a path. Oh, and a context. Okay, so we have to give it a path and a context, and it will then check to see whether or not that path exists with a true or false. So maybe that's the first thing that we have here. So we're going to need a context. And then we can check to see, okay, if this file exists. So if GGZ file system exists. I wonder if I can do that. So if file system exists, pass in the context and pass in the file name. I'm really curious where it's gonna put this. Okay, so if we're gonna get a false back most likely. So if that's the case, we want to return this hash map. So in this case, we want to do a hash map new and return that. Oh wait, no. If it exists new, we want to load the screen from the file. So this will be the to do up here. Otherwise, this will be a hash map new, and we return that. Like that. Okay, so that makes you happy. Now we need to pass in context, which we do have a context here, so that should be fine. So pass in context. You're happy again. And our scores should be set here. Let's actually throw this into a function off of the game state. And then I can call that from like the new game. So here's handle command, here's all these. All right, so right here. We're gonna do a private function, sort of like update scores. How do I want this to be? I'm not exactly sure the name I want to give it yet. Basically, as soon as the game ends, I want to load the scores from disk, update all the scores, you need toy. Here, have your feather. Load the scores from disk, update the scores in memory, pass that to the credits so we can display the credits, along with the scores next to everybody's username. And then save them back to disk again at the end. Okay, so we're gonna want the load scores to begin with. So, oh, and this, I guess this function could do all of that together, right? We're going to, let's figure this out. So we want to load scores from disk. So load scores from disk, update the scores in memory. We want to pass in, like, then I guess like return. This function is gonna then, okay, so save the updated scores, then return. Okay, then finally return the updated scores. And then that way we can call this right before we call the credits and then pass in the updated scores. Okay, so that being said, load scores, update the scores, save the updated scores, and then return the updated scores. So this is really going to be like handle scores. I don't want to update scores on screen. I think that's going to happen in credits. This is really going to be like welcome back from playing with your feather. Maybe update score. Uh-oh, you're in play mode. Okay, I don't want you to do any of this. You hang out over there. We're trying to teach him not to bite when he plays. So when he gets into that sort of like biting my hand moment, we were told by the vet, okay, just put him down, don't play. He's gonna want to keep on playing, so he'll learn over time that as soon as he starts like biting and nibbling, that's the and he's not like biting to break skin. He's just doing play biting. It's very gentle, but we still don't want him to get that habit. So putting him down, not letting him do that. Okay, so what are we doing here? This is gonna be, I guess, like update saved. So update saved scores. Don't know if we need a mute self, but we know we need a context. And we have the file name already as that. Okay, so we have this good, and then we know that this is going to return that hash map. So we're going to turn a hash map of string and a U128. That makes sense with the not biting idea. Yeah. We don't want him to get too many bad habits, especially if we want him to play on stream. Okay, so let's go ahead and implement the to make it happy. And then the first thing we want to do from here is call the utilities to get that out. So in utilities, if file system exists, otherwise return you. Pollux, hello. Guess who is right? Wait. Who am I choosing between? Were you right? I'll guess you. You were right. The Rust thing you told me about. Oh no, I have a terrible memory. That's why I write so many things down. I don't have my notes in front of me. That was like yesterday. Oh, Facebook's gonna back up Rust. Ooh, and write all the tool chains for it. And then, did you notice that Microsoft yesterday? There was some news that Microsoft is hiring Rust developers to contribute back to Rust, like the compiler. So that's really good. That's really good news that like the big what is it? The big four, the big five are going to be starting to like making changes to Rust itself without just making their own languages. That's gonna help. That's gonna help bring Rust into like the mainstream, even more than it is right now. Fang, right? It's Fang with 2 A's, right? Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. Is that correct? Am I missing any? I was a Rust guy when it came out. Oh, nice. I've never applied for or gotten an interview with a Fang company. I have applied. The closest to that is I applied for and had an interview on site with LinkedIn. That was the closest. Yeah, that is curious. Why is Microsoft not in that group? Is it only because we couldn't figure out how to like add that in? Like Famang? Yeah, Famang. I think that's new. We got to make it a thing. Famang. I don't think Microsoft pays as much as a Fang. Well, wait, is it all about payment or is it just about like privilege? Like, oh, I worked for a Fang company. Now I can work for whoever I want. Also, hello, Danny Fritz. Okay, so I want it saved. Okay, well, this one we happen to know we're going to get a hash map back. So I can actually, right now, just call utilities load scores. I'm going to pass it in the scores file name and pass in that context. And then this goes just straight through. So for right now, this will have to have some updates to it to actually like manipulate and then like save back again. But that'll be fine. So back to here. If the file system exists, then return this hash map new. If it doesn't exist, I want to create it. Probably not. This is just a new hash map. We want here. If the file, okay, so if the file system doesn't exist, then we want to then save the scores. So load the scores. We want to, this is gonna be get the scores from disk. After that, we want to update the scores, and then save the updated scores to disk, and then finally return the updated scores. Okay, so with save updated scores to disk, let's go ahead and just say you can do let mute scores equals. Okay, so here we have this hash map string u128. Let's just say that our scores is going to be, we're going to say scores dot insert if the map did not have this key present, none is returned. If the map did have this key present, the value is updated and the old value is returned. Okay, so then I can have, this can be, let's just say, Berserker to owned, and the new value is 5. say. Peyton Rules, you're off to a real meeting. Have fun with your real meeting. I'm probably gonna have to take off pretty soon too, but let's see if we can get this saved to disk first. So we're gonna insert this. I don't care about the return value. And then we want to now save this change back to disk. So what is that gonna look like? We're going to come back to utilities. Let's actually just pretend it exists right now. So we're gonna say utilities dot so this is gonna be save scores. I'm betting we're gonna have to pass it into context. So I bet we need the context. Take a look back here. So file system. Okay, so open for this. We have the open options. We have create. So I guess it's going to be this open options. Okay, so here, yeah, it's going to need a context. It's going to need a path and then the open options. So we can create that later. But so we'll need the context and a path. So the context and then the scores file name. And I don't really care about this. We just want you to save the scores. And so if you can't, just save like an empty scores or something like that. And then return the updated scores for right now. That's just going to be our scores. Oh, save scores. Yeah, we can't forget to pass in a reference to the scores to save that disk and then return you. So then you're just saying, hey, there's no save scores. That's a problem. Well, let's fix that. So save scores. What do we need? Context, the file name, and then a reference to the scores. So we need context, file name, and then the scores, which is going to be a reference to a hash map with a string and a U128. We're gonna try not to return anything, but we'll see what happens. So for save scores, if the file system, does that even matter? We have creates a new file in the user directory and opens it to be written to, truncating if it already exists. I think this might be fine because if it already exists, we already have all the scores. We want to just rewrite to it. So we probably can just recreate this. So create is going to be fine. So GGEZ file system create. This is going to be file system create, and the context, and the file name. And this is going to return a result that has a file and a game error. Oh, perfect. So we can return a game error from this. Is this going to be a game result? So then I can question mark this. And this is going to be let scores file equals. Okay, so now I have this file. I can now write to scores. And so this is where maybe the other, we need to like serialize this and then save it to disk. Because I need to be able to scores file dot write and then a buffer So I wonder if it would be better for me to create my own scores a structure. So let's say we ignore this scores right here. Let's say I create like let just like test equals, we're gonna do a string from, and we'll just say this is a test. And I want to write, can I do this? Okay, so here's our right buffer. Right. Okay, be some byte. Oh, I could just do that. So here's what I'll do. I don't need you at all. Now you return. Oh, you return a different type of result. That's a problem right there. Let's go ahead and use an error result. Error result. And then I don't actually care about what we're returning. So then the question mark should be happy here. No? Oh, wait, but then I need to then return. Okay. All right, so then theoretically, if I call save scores, this should save it to disk wherever we feel like we want to save this. So in our main library, when we run the game, let's just right at the beginning of, here's like this new, well, we need this to be, okay, here's what we do. At update, so the first frame that this happens, I want to do a self dot, what is it? Update save scores. I'm going to pass it into context. We're going to semicolon this, and then I want to panic. I just want to see where this ends up going. Okay, so you need to be semicolons. Okay, cannot borrow this as mutable. So scores file needs to be mutable here. All right, no errors anymore. Go ahead and try running this. It should run and then immediately crash because it's got that panic. I'm really curious about where this file gets written. So, okay, panicked at explicit panic. Perfect. Let's see if we can go find the file name, which is it just scores? It's just scores. So I don't see it in here. Is there? Oh, but it might not be in here. It might be outside. Because I have in Wix builds, we have in the Rust workspace. Could it be in here? I don't see it in here. So maybe put it into the target. Target debug. Don't see it in here. How about in resources? Don't see it in here. Okay. Could you be in my home directory? Okay, so it's not in like my games. You say somewhere. in GGEZ, like where this path comes in. Like I know somewhere in here there's GGEZ says where it goes. Oh, this is where is okay, so there's resources subdirectory. I wonder if it goes to something else. I don't know where. Let's see, I don't see get the streamer in any of these directories. Okay, so let's say go to my home directory. Okay, so we have not saved games. Not .config. Oh, where does it go? Did it save? That's a good question. Let's go ahead and put a debug inside of here. So in save scores, I want to see, did it write some bytes out? So debug, did it write? Like that. Run this again. Oh no, it didn't write. Okay, so we don't see that did it write. So this is save scores. We call save scores. Oh no, we didn't call it. Let's call okay, so hold on. To do update save scores, on update save scores, this is not happening. Oh, it's an unused result. Okay, so we get the scores, we load the save score, we load that. Then we go to utility save scores. And we probably want to handle this here, but this should be fine. So I do debug. What are you? You're testing. Let's see, update save scores. And then utilities. This is did it right there. Update save scores. Okay, so then. Okay, so here we have update save scores. So it got to here. And then it panicked at explicit panic at librs line 208. So right here. So it got to here. Which means that this code ran. So save scores ran. But it didn't wait for this to happen. Which means that there must have been an error here. Let's go ahead and try if let's error. Let's go ahead and debug error. See what that is. Aha, okay, so resource not found. Cannot alter file scores in root, and so it tries to go into Rust Workspace target debug resources. File system read only. So this thing in utilities where we're trying to write to here to, so okay, so is it this create here that it fails? So we put a debug. This is about to open a file for writing. I'm thinking that's gonna run, and then it's gonna error before we actually try to write to it. About to open file to writing, and then we get this error on line 200 of, oh no, that's just where the debug command is. Okay, so then in here we open the file for writing, then we try to write it. So then let's do one more debug, and this is about to write to file. My guess is either we're gonna see this or we're not. The error is either gonna be in the scores file or the write. Okay, so update save scores, about to open the file for writing. So that's here. And then immediate error. So right here, file system create failed. So why is that not able to get write access to that folder? So I might need to do a little bit of extra research on this, figure out what I need to get access to that. So what is this? This is file system create. Here, create. Oh, great. There's no good examples in here. So it runs a context.filesystem.create path. So I might need to go look at GGEZ's issues to see, like, is there something I need to do to make sure that it's writable to? Or do I need to like run this as a like an admin or something? If I find and double click the binary, does that work? So in a Rust workspace, we have to get the streamer game. No, it's a target debug. Okay, here. If I double click you. Oh, but I'm never gonna see the message for it. I don't want to run it as administrator. Okay, resources. What properties do we have? Read only. If I uncheck that and I rerun you,